So closeout week is the last week in every month, and we segment a database reactivation campaign via text and email that goes out to all of those leads that came in to try and capture low-hanging fruit, which does work quite well.
Benji created cool little techniques within his campaigns, like, making a mistake in the text or asking a question, waiting a few minutes before actually sending the message. The reason he wanted so much to sound like a human is because humans want to talk to humans. So pick up the phone, because that's how they'll do it. The fortune is in the follow-up. And it's absolutely true. And we've seen, not only in the fitness industry, but just in general, because I'm a part of many masterminds that have many different industries in it. And I love learning from them all, because I think you can take away things from any industry. And so with that, I'm here with Benji of SupaFitGrow, and he and his company do a great job. He is a co-founder along with Michael. And they do a great job of building winning ad campaigns for gyms and fitness studios all over the world. And one of the things that is paramount in all of their systems is the follow-up system, not just through SMS, but in general. And we're going to talk about both SMS and just the follow-up cadence in general, so that you can understand not only what my beliefs are, but also Benji and Michael's are, so that you, as the fitness studio owner or employee of the fitness studio, can really get a good handle on what a good follow-up cadence looks like and how it actually correlates to a winning ad campaign. So SMS and using text messages in order to follow up is something that some of the best gym owners, studio owners, business owners in general, salespeople have been using in order to increase contact rate, increase book rate, increase engagement, show rate, all of that. And I wanted to talk to you about it because I know you guys are very big on it with all the ads that you're running for the hundreds of gyms that you're running them for. You have a very, very specific process that you use with SMS, in particular, your follow-up process. So I want to dive into that. The benefits of SMS marketing, implementing automation tools. I want to talk about personalization and timing. I also want to dive into the segmentation and targeting, like how you guys target, and then compliance and ethics, because obviously there's certain rules around texting and SMS that are not really allowed in certain places. And we want to make sure we're following the rules so we don't get any of the gyms that are listening in trouble. So let's start with the benefits. So what are the benefits of SMS marketing? What is it first, I guess? Let's start with that.
Yeah. So SMS marketing, basically, when you're advertising, lead clicks on an ad, they come through. Where do they go next? Obviously, they fill in a lead form, they book a call. We want to make sure that they were nurturing them, because look, only 3% of people are ready to buy immediately. So that first text message is so important that goes out in a timely manner, but also not too fast. So one thing that we've noticed is if it's immediate, so as soon as they submit that lead form or they book a call and they get a text straight away, subconsciously people know that it's automated, because how can a human respond that quick? So typically what we recommend and what we do is wait about 3 to 5 minutes and then send that text message. It seems more personal and it's not as rapid, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Now, for everyone listening or watching, when Benji says we wait around 3 to 5 minutes, what that doesn't mean is you guys send the text message after 3. You'll never be able to do it.
No.
In the automation that Benji's building out, that all of you guys can build out, you can set a timer on it so that once the trigger, which would be the lead fills out the form, once the trigger kicks in, the action, which would be this text message goes to that lead. That won't happen for X period of time. Could be 1 minute, could be 1 hour, could be 1 day, could be 2 minutes. And that's what he means by 3 to 5 minutes. Is that right, Benji?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. So the automation's set up so it goes out 3 to 5 minutes. Yeah, in addition to, you don't want your email going out at the same time as your text either. So what we've seen is text first, then the email a couple of minutes after that as well. So it's not all at once, because then their phone's going bing, 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 and most people are going to see it on their phone. So you want it to be staggered.
I love it. I love it. And, here's the thing too, a lot of people are wondering, okay, well, what is this just another idea? No, it's a solution. And the problem that it solves is not making enough sales from your marketing efforts. So a lot, when I meet with gym owners that are new to this game, the marketing game, especially the digital marketing game, they struggle with getting enough of the leads that they get online actually in contact with. Like their contact
Mm,
rate is low. So they'll get 100
yeah.
leads from digital. They make contact
Yeah.
with 25 of them, which is super low. And then
Mhm.
the actual contact doesn't actually turn into a booked appointment, doesn't turn into a
Mm,
show appointment.
mm,
And so the problem that we're looking to solve is we're only getting 20 or 25 of our leads on the
mhm,
phone when it should be
mhm,
60 to
mm,
80 of our
exactly.
leads. So that's the problem that we're looking to solve, and that's one of the things that SMS really helps with. So
Mm.
what are some examples of successful SMS campaigns that you've seen in the fitness industry, particularly ones you've probably been behind?
Yeah, definitely. Good question, Mike. And look, we see this all the time. So part of our process is when we're talking to you, we want to understand when they're giving us them when they're giving us their conversion rates and they're going through that whole process. What's the first text message that goes out? Typically, what we see is, "Hey, Mike, thanks for registering with XYZ Gym. Here's your link to book your class. Let us know if you need help. Or let us know if you need
Yeah.
any help to booking your session." That's basically telling someone to piss off and go and do it on your
Yeah.
own, and we're not nurturing them because it's all automated. We want to take any of that personalization out because we're too lazy. So what we tend to do and what we implement and what we've seen work extremely well is, how's this? Hey Mike, thanks for registering with XYZ Gym. In a few short words, what is your main health and fitness goal? Or it can be a challenge-based question. So what is the number one challenge you're facing with your health and fitness at the moment? What does that do? What we're doing there is we're engaging the lead. So we're not trying to sell them anything, right? And that's the problem with today. And that's why most gyms don't engage with their leads because they're trying to sell straight away. Here's a link to book your class. That's
Mhm.
just selling. I want to understand, and we need to understand why they're there, and if we can even help them. Maybe we can't help them, but we need to ask those open-ended questions very, very at the very start, because then psychologically in that prospect's mind, they're going to think these guys actually want to know about my goals. And what do people love to do?
Right.
Talk
Right.
about themselves. They want to tell people their goals. And
Right.
most people,
Right.
if they've clicked on an ad, they're in pain. They're in pain. They're not happy about the way they look, or they're not happy where they feel, or whatever that might be, but they want help. So if we ask that open-ended question, what their
What
goals are,
what
they want to tell us.
And it's not just clicking on the ad, it's clicking on the ad and then filling out the
Mm,
form. So the thing that I like about this as well is that you guys are actually prompting some level of response. When the person responds, does that then go to a human and the conversation begins, or does that trigger another automation based on what they say?
mm. Yeah, good. So you can trigger another automation. So you've got a few ways you can do it. You can trigger another automation to send a response. All right. So it could be something like, "Oh, great set of goals. Here's your link to book a call with one of our staff members or one of our membership managers." All right. Or it could be immediate text message that sends to the salesperson inside the gym. So they call that lead. Right. What we typically
Mm,
recommend is if they're communicating and opening up via text, we
mm,
communicate back via text until we get them to a point where you can get them on the phone and, hey, do you have a quick 5 minutes to have a bit more of a chat and we can get you booked in for a session, right? But what we've found as well is
got
now
it.
the second option, what we've got is we've actually got AI now
Got it.
that is conversing with the leads. And I actually showed Dave Poison yesterday from Soldier Fit. I actually showed him yesterday. He could not believe that it was AI. He's like, what? This is actually AI? And it was pretty crazy. So what the AI will do is literally take over and ask open-ended questions. So stuff like, "Oh, that's a great set of goals you have. You must be juggling a lot. Are you open to exploring options of how we can help you?" Bang, and then they'll say yes.
Mm,
Okay, so what does this, and this look like? So every text
mm.
message is got a question there, and it's engaging that lead. All right. Then what it
I
will
love it.
do, it will
How
ask them
many?
to
Go ahead.
it'll ask them to book a session, and the AI will actually book them in, grab the calendars, and actually book them in for a session or a phone call, whichever the gym decides.
Wow. Okay, so question that I've got is how many times will the follow up happen? Let's say the person doesn't respond to the text. Is there continual follow up? And then what does that look like?
Yeah, so if the person doesn't respond to
Mm,
the text, then another text will go. Again, asking an open-ended question, maybe around, "Hey, are you busy? You must be busy at the moment. Is there a better time that we can set to chat?" Question mark. Again, open-ended question. right? Yes, this does happen. If they still don't respond, maybe pick up the phone and give them a call. And what I've seen, and this has happened in our own gym, is people are afraid to pick up the phone. They just don't want to call. It's
Mhm.
almost similar, Mike, to
Yeah,
doing videos of themselves on social media. People don't want to do it because they're scared of what might
yeah.
happen. Mm,
You know, I think I used to think it was a generational thing, but then I'm realizing it's
no,
a 2024 thing. Like even people in their
yeah,
40s, 50s,
yeah,
they don't want to get rejected. Um, so here's a couple stats here that are interesting, and this is why this could help solve that problem. So first is contact rate, speed the lead.
mm,
So
mm,
there was a study done. I can't remember the name of the. I think it was MIT actually. It was a study done by
mm,
MIT. It was MIT, and it showed that when it takes longer than 5 minutes for
yeah,
the company to make contact with the lead, five
mm,
minutes after them filling out the form, there is
mm,
a 900% decrease in probability of making contact.
yep,
900% decrease. That means if we're not sending that text out within the next first few minutes, it's
hmm,
gradually getting worse and worse.
yep,
That's like a 9x probability
mm,
drop, right? So that's one. So that's where that helps. Because you're not going to do that. There's no way you're going to, as a human being, be
no,
able to respond to yeah. Okay.
it's
The next
hard.
thing is with follow up, and this is where this can aid in the frequency and the quantity of follow ups. More than 80% of sales, this was done by HubSpot, more than 80% of sales are made between the fifth and 12th touch. And they
Hmm,
believe that more than 80% of that 80% is made between the eighth to 12th touch. So
hmm.
follow up is very important. One of the things that we recommend too, I don't know if you guys do it, is the double call. You guys ever do the double call or recommend
Always,
the double call?
always, and we recommend
Always.
all of our studios or people we work with double call, and then they say to us, "Oh, but that's annoying them." I'm like, "No, no, it's not. They've clicked on
Yeah,
the ad
no,
or
it
they've
doesn't.
filled out
It
the
does
lead form. Exactly. They want you to contact them.
100%.
It's, yeah.
Well, the thing is, we're programmed to ignore calls that we don't know the
Mm,
phone number
mm-hmm.
that's calling us, right? We're programmed to do that because it's usually spam.
Yeah.
It's usually not things that we opted into. So the double call for everyone listening or hearing it for the first time, it's when you call your lead, they don't answer, they send you to voicemail,
Mm,
and you hang up and you call them right back, like seconds later.
mm,
Just call them right back. What happens is telemarketers don't do that. That's not what a
mm,
telemarketer does. I don't even know if they're allowed to because they're using a dialer. It's like this automated
mm.
system that's calling
Yeah.
thousands of people at the same time. Whereas our advantage is we can call them, hang up, call again. And
Mm,
when they see that number, the same number calling that second time, the
mm,
probability goes up. We have more than 60% of our gyms saying that this changed
yeah.
their sales once they were able to really get that implemented. So the double call is absolutely a vital part of following up with your
Hmm.
leads.
Yeah. And a
Okay.
double text
Now we,
mark as well. So a double SMS. And what I mean by
what's a
this
double
is,
tap? I
so
actually, I
yeah,
learned about this. I never did it. Okay. So let's hear
yeah.
it. Let's hear it so everybody
So
can learn from
this
you.
this is yeah, this is pretty some people might like it, some people might not, but it's worked in certain situations for us and our clients is a double text. So instead of sending all the information in one text, send a text, "Hey Mike, how you going today?" Then another text, "I've seen that you clicked on and filled in a lead form and seeing if we can help you with your fitness." Then it's second text, "Are you open to a phone call?" So you got three, bing, 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 or a double text. So your phone's going to go
Right.
like off twice or three times, which gets their attention and maybe makes them, respond faster. Stuff like that.
I love it.
Even
Yeah.
spelling
I remember.
mistakes,
Oh, so you'll spell wrong on purpose and then correct
wrong, a bit
yourself
of
in the automated
ex
response
exactly, yeah. So you can even put little spelling mistakes. Not saying to
just to
do
make it more
like
human.
completely, yeah, exactly right, exactly. Hmm.
That's pretty smart. I like that.
Mm,
Okay. So now we understand, everyone listening now knows the problem that it's solving is we're spending so much time and effort to get these leads in. And if we're not going to convert a good portion of them, we're wasting money, we're wasting time, and we're wasting
mm,
opportunity costs. So now let's go into how do we get it done? So implementing automation tools. What are some of the platforms or tools that are available for those listening that want to create some automation behind their texting?
yeah, definitely. So you've got stuff like HubSpot. You've got stuff like we've got our own system, FitGrow.ai. You've got stuff like GHL.
What is it for the non-Australians that didn't catch that accent? What's yours?
FitGrow.ai.
FitGrow.ai.
.ai.
Okay, so
Yeah, that's
FitGrow.ai.
yep.
Got it. Yeah, and then there's
Yeah,
stuff like text requests, there's stuff like
yep.
Twilio, and then you integrate it with like stuff like
Hmm.
Zapier. So
Yeah.
Zapier is essentially a tool that connects any two softwares together. And so you can
Mm.
integrate your CRM
Hmm.
with this tool, or if they went with yours, it's all in one tool, which is even easier.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
So let's talk about let's see, we personalization and timing. We talked about that as well. Segmentation and targeting. I want to dive into that. So how to segment your audience for more effective SMS campaigns. And then I
Mm.
also want to dive into how we can use data analytics to optimize the SMS outreach.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. So with segmenting, so obviously your new leads coming in are all going to get the automations. They're going to start getting followed up. They're going to get nurtured. But then what happens after, say, 14 days? What happens to that? We can then segment them all monthly. So for instance, one thing we do in our gym is basically the last week of every month, we then all the leads that have come in before that, early that month, we put them into a database reactivation campaign. We reach out to them with another offer to entice them to come in before the end of the month. So we call it a closeout week. So closeout week is the
Mm.
last week in every month, and we segment a database reactivation campaign via text and email that goes out to all of those leads that came in to try and capture low-hanging fruit, which does work quite well. And we
That's pretty
usually
cool.
see at least 20 to 25% of those leads will re-engage, because sometimes people are busy and the typical answer is, oh, sorry, I was just really busy. Yeah, I really want to come in at this date. Bang, bang, bang. Mm.
And are there any other ways that you'll segment at all?
Just keeping it very simple. So just database reactivation campaigns should be segmented and sent out every single month. I think they're very underutilized in gyms and studios.
Okay. And what about using data analytics to optimize your SMS outreach?
Yeah, definitely. So looking at your data, looking at the text messages. So if you're sending through, say what I said before with challenge first or goals first, with that first text message goes out. If we're looking at the data and the response rate, if everyone's responding more to goals first, then we want to talk about more of their goals and have that more through the text message campaigns rather than what their challenges are. But if it was the challenges, then we do that. In addition to, um, one thing we do really well is we looking at the data that comes in. If you're what is your offer? Is it around losing weight, building strength? Is it fit over 40? What is that offer? Right? We'll look at the data coming in from that first question. What's your main health and fitness goal? If it's lose weight, and it's typically very, very noticeable that it's all lose weight, then that directly can help us with what that offer is. So it's the offer. If everyone's saying they want to lose weight, then our next offer can be more based around losing weight rather than building strength. Does that make
Mm.
sense?
100%.
Mm,
100%. Yeah. And still what's true is that power of that offer, tying it in with
mm,
a strategy like this is really where it's
mm,
at. And we actually, I know you guys have killer offers. We had a campaign that we had taught, and it was called Mother's May, but it's the principle of how we built that offer that can apply to all different seasons,
mm.
not just Mother's Day. It could be 4th of July, it could be
Yeah.
Labor Day, it could be Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever. If you take the principles from that training, you can compile some really great gym offers. This particular
Mm,
campaign generated 309 leads for a gym
mm.
in 6 days.
Wow.
309 leads in 6 days, zero ad spend. If that guy ran ads as well, he probably would have got a $500-600 or 500-600 lead month. Not kidding.
Wow.
Which he wouldn't have been able to handle. So if you guys
Yeah, I
want
was
to
going to have
see that
some.
training, it's free. You guys just go to loudrumor.com/great dash offers. Again, that's loudrumor.com/great dash offers. And you'll be able to watch that training right there. A really good one. Okay. So obviously texting is good, but we have to be careful. There are some rules, there are some limitations. We want to make sure nobody gets into trouble here. So before we say anything, let us first begin by saying we are not attorneys, but we definitely have looked into
Mm,
information to make sure our clients are safe. And so here are some of the things from Benji around compliance and ethics. So why don't we talk a little bit about that, and especially in regards to GDPR and TSPA or TCPA?
yeah, definitely. So certain time frames in certain areas, you can't text past a certain time at night. or a certain time in the morning. So you want to be careful when you're texting and how much you text as well. I think there's even certain times, amount of times you can text someone before it becomes harassment. Before you mean. So if you are using automation tools, also it's very, very important that you have an option for someone to D&D so they can do not disturb and you can't text them anymore. Very important to have that. Same as an unsubscribe on emails. If you don't have an unsubscribe on emails, you can get in trouble for it. So you must have those
Now,
things. Um,
is that a blanket rule or is that specific to states?
It's specific to states, but I would, if you want it for simplicity, I would blanket it, especially with the unsubscribe and
Okay.
time. So you don't want to be annoying people. Like, if put it this way, you don't want to be sending a database reactivation to multiple people, or if you do a drip feed database reactivation, typically what happens, you can only send a certain amount of text to, like, maybe 100 texts this in the first 2 hours, then the next. You don't want to let that run all through the night, so people are getting texts at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. All right, so you want to make sure you don't do
That
that.
makes
And then
sense.
again, having that unsubscribe button on emails, super important, because you will get, and we've learnt this the hard way. We've had people say, stop bloody emailing me. What are you doing? I've already told you I don't want
Yeah.
emails. Make sure you have the unsubscribe button. Definitely.
So for everyone listening, what might be good for you to use is ChatGPT, or even right now,
Mm,
Google Gemini is reporting to be 20% faster than ChatGPT. It doesn't
mm-hmm.
really matter. The one thing you'll want to do is, let's say you ask a question. I live in Alabama and I'm looking at doing text messaging with
Yeah.
my marketing. What are the rules for my state when it comes to GDPR and TCPA that I must
Mm,
follow? Explain it to me like I'm in fifth
mm,
grade, right?
mm-hmm.
They'll do that and they break it down to
Yeah.
you. Very easy to follow bullet points. And then the next prompt you want to, or the next thing you want to add in that prompt as well before you submit it is, please put links to the resources, or to put
Mm,
links to the sources where you gathered this information.
mm,
Because what you'll want to do is click on it and just cross reference it. It takes seconds,
mm,
but sometimes ChatGPT or Gemini doesn't get it right. It's very, very rare, but it does
mm.
happen. And you want to make sure that you're not just relying on it. It takes, no time to just do a double check, especially when they send you the
Yeah.
link as to where they pulled the data. Okay. All right. Cool, man. Hey, this is a short and sweet one. I think we just wanted people to really understand the
Mm,
value of texting, but also for everyone listening, again, as a reminder, you still pick up the phone, you still call.
yes.
There's nothing as powerful as the phone call still. You get them on the phone, you do the double dial, it's even better. Texting is not a substitute for calling, it's an
No.
aid. It's something that can help you fill in holes in the problems, such as not being able to call the lead as fast or as
Mm,
frequent. And
mm,
that allows you to do that. So the reason Benji created cool little techniques within his campaigns, like, making a mistake in the text or
mm,
asking a question, waiting a few minutes before actually
mm.
sending the message. The reason he wanted so much to sound like a human is because humans want to talk to humans. So pick up the
Yeah.
phone, because that's how they'll
Yeah.
do it. Okay.
Exactly.
Awesome. Benji, anything you want to add, or we feel like we covered it today?
Yeah, just again, just remember that that text, like Mike said, is there to bridge the gap before you pick up the phone. And it allows you, now we're in a day and age in 2024 where people do, they want to respond via text. They don't want to, like, when you ask someone their goals over the phone, they're going to sound like a little scared cat. When you ask them via text message, they're going to vomit it out. Like, we've even had a lady through one of our clients and said, like, telling us her husband died, and it was a absolute novel of a reply,
Wow.
but she was in so much pain. When that client picked up the phone and called, they were so surprised with how easy it was to bring her in and convert her, because she'd open up via text. You can't take that back once it's been sent. So again, people are going to share more over
100%.
text than on the phone because they don't know you. Bridges that
I
gap.
agree.
So
I agree.
very, very important.
Well, hey, I agree. I appreciate you coming on here and sharing your wisdom, sharing your secrets. If anybody wants to know more about how to work with SupaFitGrow.io, these guys do killer digital ad campaigns for the fitness industry, working with hundreds of fitness studios around the world, and honestly getting cost per lead numbers that I just haven't seen in years, which is why I sent all my business to them. They put me out of business on the ad side, which I was fine with. I love working with these guys. They do a good job. So if you want to learn more about how to work with them, go to supafitgrow.io, and that's Supa, SUPA, fit, SupaFitGrow.io. Benji, thanks so much for coming on, brother.
Thanks for having me, brother. Like always.